Welcome to FatKings Friday for March the 13th. I am Andrew, VSG Spike.
And I am VSG Warrior. And tonight, we know what's on the menu. It's the two most amazing women in the world, the Sarahs, Sarah Spano and Sarah Nerd in Oregon. They don't need an introduction, but there it is. How you doing, girls?
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I'm better now.
Yeah.
Girl, we're just getting started.
So yeah, poor Sarah Spano was actually just violently attacked by a vicious wild animal.
Named VSG Warrior.
No. Oh, poor Sarah, but she's a trooper. The show must go on.
That's right.
She's a pro.
No one can say I'm not dedicated.
We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much
I've
for
only
coming.
made 2 videos in the last 6 months. It's okay, because clearly I'm still in it to win it.
That's right. Thank you for coming, girls.
No one can say you're not dedicated to this. Your own well-being is a question still we're all trying to figure out.
It's true.
Oh, bitch.
Hold on, let me drink.
It's getting real.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, so we're starting the show on a pretty much blank slate here. So we were scared shitless, and apparently the viewers were too. We got one question, so we'll hold that off for later.
Like build up to that question.
Exactly.
I bet you we don't even get to that question. That's what
Probably not.
That's safe money to say that right there. But I mean, okay, so since we're supposed to be like a newbie-centric kind of show, do you think you guys can even remember things why you chose the surgery? Do you want to talk about stuff like that? Want to go way back in the Wayback Machine?
I'm sorry, Walter. I didn't hear anything you just said. I was just staring at how hot you are.
Oh my God.
Just saying.
Mr. Fucker, I lost 9 pounds this week.
Yeah, right?
I'm sorry, dude.
No, I'm hating out of a place of love.
Okay. I get that. It's love-hate. I get it.
But to answer your question, what do you think, Sarah Spoon, Sarah Waffle, Sarah Nerd in Oregon?
I can. Actually, my best friend who I made a video with, she's the one that threw me my last meal party right before I had surgery. I went to her house and we drank and ate bread and then drank some more and then ate some more bread.
And
we drank a little bit more, and then, wait, no, it gets worse. Then we fed each other baby food blindfolded.
Oh, that's right.
To see if we could guess the flavors. There's a video of it. We weren't so sober. She actually just today got back across the border, just went to Mexico to have surgery.
Oh.
She would have seen Dr. Aceves, but she saw Dr. Alvarez because our beloved surgeon passed away last summer.
Yeah.
But
Dr. Alvarez is also amazing.
Oh my God, I call him Dr. Hottie Pants. If you've had a couple of drinks, in a bad Latin accent, it sounds like Dr. Alvarez. Dr. Hottie Pants.
I didn't choose Dr. Alvarez because I felt shallow choosing him because he was hot. I was like, well, I probably should choose the not.
Also, I want Dr. Hottie Pants to see me at my best, not at my worst.
Yeah, right? I know.
I'll go see him now.
True enough.
She went to go see him, and it made me think a lot about like why I did it and why I did it the way I did. We kind of had some really solid conversations. We've been texting because she has Wi-Fi, so I messaged the whole time she was in the hospital, and she was talking about all the burping that happens in the beginning, and I was like, oh yeah. I kind of forgot, like, oh yeah, you burp a lot. That's right. Yeah. Like it kind of brought back all the memories, the pre-op memories. I had surgery mostly because I was super unhappy. And I am not one of those people that think that I was unhappy because I was overweight. I think I was unhappy and then I became overweight. Or, like, I was always overweight, but it got progressively worse because I was unhappy. And then what happened is because I was unhappy, I didn't have the will or the strength to defeat the obesity demon. So it kind of became this cycle of self-loathing and unhappiness. And it wasn't until I was able to... at some point the obesity prevented me from being happy too. Does that make sense? So it was kind of super cyclical and self-fulfilling, and the decision to have weight loss surgery opened up doors for me to kind of pursue things I was passionate about. One thing I talk about all the time is that for 36 years I had the same New Year's resolution year after year. It's hard to think past weight loss when that's always your top goal. You know, so then I think about all the years I wasted not doing things I loved because I perpetually banged my head against the obesity wall. And that's really like why I had surgery, to free up all of that emotional energy and to open myself up to new opportunities. And while I wasn't unhappy because I was obese, obesity was a result of my unhappiness, and then my inability to defeat obesity kind of perpetuated my unhappiness more and more over time. Like compound interest just got worse and worse.
I can totally relate to that. Yeah, I've had a similar situation where you feel just like you can't. There's so many things that you want to do, but you know you allowed the obesity to hold you back at this point, and it's just like once you get that done, hopefully you can get all the other things done too. You know? But
Yeah.
I think what's great about you, especially that why I get so much value from you is you seem to have a way of just putting these difficult concepts into a simple, just a digestible little nut that anybody can chew on, and it just makes sense, and I really love that. And I know I just said a bunch of really dirty things there, nuts and chewing.
Yeah, you're always nuts in your
Put the
mouth.
nuts in my mouth, bitch.
I want to chew on you. I don't know what he just said, but
You're the hottest black man in a chef's hat I've ever met. Oh wait, that's not you. You're the one to the right.
That's my friend. That's my friend Chef.
Confusing. Oh, okay, my bad.
No, I was talking about him putting his nuts in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
His chocolate salty balls.
Mm-hmm.
I need to interject and say, Spoon, your hair is so amazing. It looks like you're wearing a wig, but I know that you aren't. It's that perfect.
It's all
Right?
real.
It's that perfect. Like
I would say
jealous.
that is my blessing in weight loss surgery world. I had so much ding dang hair that I could still lose 3/4 of it and look like I'm wearing a wig. Now, you should have seen me before surgery. It was Cousin It style. And in the hair loss phase, I woke up every morning thinking I had a drunken one-night stand with Chewbacca because there was just fucking hair everywhere and no sign that it came off my head.
I'm feeling this look though. Hey, there he is.
Waff never got his hair back.
And somebody who's watching, Jill in St. Louis, she says she's pre-op and she's going to have VSG there at OCC with Dr. Ortiz in 10 days.
Oh, well,
Awesome.
congratulations.
So good on you, Jill. And then Jennifer Ricketts, that's who she's also, who I'm going to have it with as well. So.
Awesome. Jennifer stayed at my house last year during the Waffle Palooza. In May, we're having another one, Waffle Palooza 2.
Stop talking about it. It makes me jealous.
Headliners gone viral?
Yes, they're going to
Nice.
play. They're going to set up their system and do a little private show. You heard it here first.
Hell
June
I have
yeah.
had the pleasure of
And,
live.
And Pub Shed is going to be up by then.
Oh.
So jealous.
We're building a pub shed. So we're
Nice.
buying like a 10 by 12 or a 12 by 12 shed, and we're putting in flooring, and we're painting it, and we have an old bar from the 70s that has disco lights in the front that light up to the beat of the music.
Oh, fuck
And
yeah.
it has an 8-track player. We're going to put a disco ball in there. Yeah. Pub Shed's going to be up by Waffle Palooza.
Dude, that sounds like a
I need
blast.
to move to Oregon.
Mhm.
That is sweet.
So sorry, back to you, Sarah. Tell us why you lost weight.
I was like, I'm on painkillers and alcohol. I don't know that I have anything deep to say right now. That makes any sense. But, well, is there anyone who hasn't heard the story? But I mean, no matter what, I weighed 460 pounds. That's why I weight loss surgery, because I was super morbidly obese, and I had been that way for a very long time. Like, I'd been 400 pounds plus for like the 8 or 9 years prior to surgery already. So yeah, like my weight, I lost weight significantly only twice in my life, and it just kept going up and up. There was no sign of it going down, and that was my own fault See, she just left. She was like, "Are you talking? I'm gonna leave. I'm just interested in the story."
I've heard this story so many times. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but I think that same thing is true for everyone. I mean, I think there's always a reason why we become, maybe not why we become fat, but why we get fatter. And then it is a cycle, and, you know, you feel poorly about yourself, and because I think most of us are prone to trying to comfort ourselves with food. I mean, it just perpetuates itself. And I think no matter what, weight loss surgery is the cycle breaker. And even if it's not a magical fix, and it won't necessarily break the cycle. Just like everything else, you can get right back into it. It's like stopping smoking or stopping anything else that you have an addiction to. Although we all know not everyone is a food addict, but just in general, the behavior can be addictive. So yeah, I think the good thing is that weight loss surgery is that chance to break the cycle, but you still have to work at it. I mean, I definitely find I don't know, 25, 26 months out, no more than that, 28 months out from surgery, and I definitely find that certain behaviors are creeping back, whether it's like snacking or whatever it is. I mean, because I'm not as vigilant as I used to be, because it's easy to kind of forget. I don't know. I mean, I spent a long time in the weight loss phase, but I also spent a long time in the weight loss phase, and there is a beauty in just being like, oh my God, I'm not going to spend all day thinking about what I put in my mouth, or at least the food that I eat.
You know what it actually reminds me of, Sarah? Oh, wait, go back to things in your mouth.
She's like, oh, you were a little premature there with your cut-in.
Yes, typical Sarah. Sarah cuts you off right before you get the good part out. You know what it reminds me of now that I've done both? It reminds me a lot of divorce. Like, it's an opportunity. No, that's true. It's like I divorced obesity.
I was like, damn, that's true.
And it gives you an opportunity to reset and restart, but ultimately when the next relationship comes around, you still have the choice to have a healthy relationship or a not healthy relationship. Like, you can defeat the behaviors, you can choose to become a better person and break that, like, cycle of unhealthy relationship that you've been in, but you also have the choice to not do that. And so, like, the divorce is like a clean break. Like, you have a chance to reset, and there's a period of time where you don't even think about falling back into old behaviors. But ultimately, once you become monogamous with food again, like, you still have to consciously choose to not be passive-aggressive. Not that that's my problem. But
however.
But you still have to make, like, all those same relationship choices, and it's a little bit harder. But I can still, I mean, if I don't pay attention, I can gain 3 pounds in a week. I can, you know, so I can still be in an unhealthy relationship. So it just reminds me a lot of divorce. I just divorced my obesity, but that doesn't mean I won't ever end up that way again. Like, you can end an unhealthy relationship, doesn't mean you'll never end up in one again.
I think most of us probably could as well, unless we're a Gooch Monster who, you know, can eat whatever the hell he wants because he's got the micro sleeve.
You know what's funny? I keep telling him, I'm like, enjoy it now, dude. Because I'm like, there will be a point at which that will not be the case anymore, and then it's going to be a hard-ass struggle, because now you're used to just doing whatever the fuck you want, and yeah, so I'm always,
you know what, I have a micro sleeve,
but I'm always like warning him, like, things will change. You think that they won't, but they will. They change for everyone. There's no one I know who is like 2 years plus out from surgery who will say that it's not drastically different than their first, you know, year or two. It really, really does change.
Well, yeah, but I think it mentally changes, because I still have a micro sleeve. I mean, Dr. Aceves was known for making a tight sleeve. I think a lot of his patients would say that he makes a tight sleeve. My sleeve is without question tighter than Waffles.
Yeah.
But if I'm eating the right things and I'm almost 2 years out, I can still only eat 2 to 3 ounces of meat. Like, my sleeve is still tight. I can still, if I'm eating the right things, I can still only eat the portion I'm supposed to eat.
Yeah, it's never
the wrong things that fuck me up.
When people say, oh, you know, my sleeve stretched, like, no, it didn't. You are not eating what you used to eat, and that's the difference. And, like, I know I could eat, like, 20 times a day. And I could eat just as much as I used to eat before if I just kept shoving things in my mouth. At one time, I can't eat a lot. And I can't eat a lot of protein still. Like, I could probably eat 4 ounces of meat.
I am watching, and I can hear you.
I know that you're watching. I don't
What's up, dude?
Well, I ate like my own body weight in popcorn the other night. I don't know what happened, but man, I made it up fucking good. I made it with like 2 parts butter.
And
Check
the
this
bacon
out,
fat?
bitches. 1 part bacon grease.
Oh.
A little,
So wait. Whoa. Talk slower.
Talk slower. Hold on.
a little Himalayan sea salt, and then wait, it gets better. Then Rogue Creamery. Are you ready for this? Blue cheese powder.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, baby.
I literally had a bacon and blue cheese like popcorn fest. I ate so much bacon.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I ate so much popcorn, I thought I busted my sleeve open. Like, I was, like, Googling. I was like, this isn't good. This isn't right. I've never felt this way. But sure enough, like, I can shovel it in like I used to. It's just that I hate myself later.
And there's that.
Yeah,
now I hate myself because I think I'm dying. Before I hate myself because I'm like, you just got fatter. Like, I can hear the scale, like, creaking. Like, the scale's crying from my bathroom.
Yeah, I sometimes wish I could go back to that period of time after surgery when I didn't give a shit about food, because that is so not the way it is now. Like, and especially, again, being in and I'm sure Sarah can relate too, being in a relationship with someone who also is a weight loss surgery patient, therefore also was a former fatty. Like, we talk about food all the time, and we watch Food Network all the time, and we talk about, like, let's go to this amazing restaurant, and then we go and eat 3 bites of everything and bring it home and never eat it and throw it out. That's pretty much how it works. But, like, we will totally obsess about going to a certain place or having a certain thing, and then it's never as good as you, not never, but generally not as good as you think it's going to be. But mentally, we're still, like, yeah.
I told you. You asked me when Waf and I started dating and you had started dating Chris what it was like living with someone with weight loss surgery, and I said, it's like this. On one hand, we get each other's demon in a way I've never gotten anyone else's demon that I'm with. Like, we get it. I get his demon, he gets mine. We have the shared experience. But also sometimes we're like 2 alcoholics hanging out in a bar.
Yeah, it's like being a crack addict.
The problem is we share the same demon.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
no,
that could.
It's absolutely true. And when you live with Tiny McTiny Sleeve who can't fucking eat anything, it's even worse. Yes.
Sorry, FatKings. We'll let you talk on your own show now.
No, we don't. You girls take over. I'm fine with that.
I was expecting this. I'm sitting back enjoying. You know, I'm a spectator on my own show tonight. So.
Yeah. Listen, we're big guys. We're used to the women being on top.
We know our place.
We know our place. So how we
I
doing?
love when a man knows his place. I appreciate that.
How we
It
doing?
means I don't have to train you, Walter. I like that. I'm cold for training.
You don't want me. I'm what am I, number 7, 6, 5?
Stop, you're number 3. Well,
okay,
here's what happened. So Bobby was number 2. VSG
right.
Bobby. Delightful VSG Bobby. But unfortunately...
Bobby decided to have a lifestyle change.
Bobby had a lifestyle change.
Decided to play.
It's fine, because I also have gay husband, so I just switched him from one column to the other. So he went from number 2 in the straight husband pile to number 2 in the gay husband pile, so whatever. But then I felt like I had to, substitute someone, and Walter was already at number 3, and I didn't want to make him freaked out, because then he would be, like, the heir apparent, and God forbid Chris should, trip and fall in the shower.
Right.
I didn't want him to, be worried. So the lovely Phil Olsen agreed to step in as husband number 2, or second in command, I don't know. So, yeah, so that's how it's playing out now. But, I love talking about it, because last time I talked about this, we all know what happened. So, I'm kind of
So what she's saying is, Walter, you better start working on your visa now.
I get a little nervous flirting with people in the community, because I'm afraid they're like, oh. And I'm like, no, that only happened once, I swear.
I call our male best friends Plan B, and actually Plan C and Plan D. Because I would call them Plan B, and Plan C, but technically I already had a Plan A, and he already didn't work out, which makes Chris Plan B.
She's on Plan B, okay.
So I'm already on Plan B. So I call our 2 best male friends Plan C and Plan D. I won't tell them which is which yet, but I know.
I think the greatest advice that Sarah and I can give you is, if your name is Sarah, you might want to be careful about musicians named Chris. Just saying. Because
related, if you're a musician named Chris, my email address is criticalbricks@gmail.com.
Related, Chris Ragucci is very lucky that I didn't like see Chris Daughtry before him, because frankly, right? Yeah. Just saying.
So actually, now that you brought it up, Spano, did you find, like, was your disappearance a direct result of that situation? Did you feel like you just couldn't take it anymore?
It wasn't. It wasn't because of that. It wasn't that I was like, oh my god, I can't deal with this, or it was more just that so much was going on in my life that I had to reprioritize to make sure that I was paying attention to the things I needed to pay attention to. Clearly, there was a lot going on, so I was trying to deal with, my kids and my family, and yeah, there was a lot of change, and plus I was like trying to find a job and then start a new job and all this other stuff. So yeah, there was just a lot of change to deal with, and I felt like I needed to make sure that my family and my relationship and even my relationship with other people, my parents, my friends, my family, I needed to make sure that all of that was okay before I started throwing my energy back into other people. I was never like out of the community. The people that I'm really close to, I still talk to all the time, but in the greater sense, so whether it was like on Facebook or making videos or whatever, I felt like I had to kind of just pull back a little bit to make sure I was dedicating my time to the things that were important. I didn't want to harm the other relationships in my life because of trying so hard to like stay in the community. It's still really important to me. And I think it's more important to me now, actually, because there are so many people that, will contact me and ask, questions about surgery and that sort of thing. Now, the further out I get, I think it's actually even people are more curious, I think, because they want to know if you're still successful. So I would have, when I wasn't making videos, especially people who weren't my friends on Facebook, would be like messaging me and being like, oh my god, have you like gained weight? Is that why you're not making videos? Or like, like, is everything okay? Like, yes, I haven't gained 100 pounds. I'm still alive. I don't have any, I'm okay. I just needed to like reset a little bit. So it really wasn't necessarily because of my relationship, but I mean, that was part of it, certainly.
Well, I certainly respect your ability to be that open and honest about it. And actually, I remember when it was happening, I don't even know, like, I don't even think like that many people deserved it. Like, you don't even, like, it's really nobody's business. And I thought it was really cool of you to do that. My question is, do you regret that you were as open about it? If you had to do it again, would you not be as open about it?
I don't know, because I think we struggled a lot, and I mean a lot, with whether it was Will and I or Chris and I or the three of us talking about it. Ooh, girl.
Oh, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Sorry, I had a quickie.
We struggled a lot with like what to do, because it wasn't a situation that had really happened in the community before, I think, or at least not in my time in the community. So it was a little bit different than even Sarah, because no one really knew who Waff was. I can't call him Chris because it confuses me. Too many Sarah and Chris's.
Except no for everyone who hates George Lucas.
I was there when they met, but no one else knew him in the community, and no one knew Sarah's ex-husband either. So for her, I think it was a little bit different. For me, I sort of felt like I was kind of screwed either way. If I wasn't open about it, then people would have just thought whatever, made up whatever, and that would be fine. And if I was open about it, it would be like, well, TMI, clearly. So I felt like I was kind of fucked either way.
No,
so
true.
I think we thought,
Makes sense.
instead of people just making up whatever they felt like making up about what had happened, that we would just be honest about what really went on. And people would either, the people who don't want to believe it won't believe it. The people who do will. To me, in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's just that I felt like being honest about it made me feel better about the situation, in the sense that I put the truth out there and you can do whatever you want with it. But I was, as open as I could be. And so many people sent me emails or messaged me about their relationships and their marriages. And, I'm definitely not a marriage counselor, and so, I would always say, listen, this is just my story. This is what happened to me, and if that helps you, that's great. Even if it just opens the dialogue, I think a lot of people are afraid of talking to their spouses about what they're going through as a weight loss surgery patient because they feel like their spouse can't understand. But I think it's important, whether you feel like they can understand or not, that you share what's going on. So I know there are a few people who told me it kind of opened the dialogue with them and their partner, and just that alone was, worth sharing. So yeah.
I will tell you.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tack on to that for a second because I can tell you that my ex-husband and I, no one believes me, but we actually are really good friends. He'll come over and hang out, and we go out for lunch now and again, and we're Facebook friends, and he's a fan of Chris's band. Like, we're actually friends. He told me not all that long ago that in retrospect, we were kind of talking about in retrospect, someone had asked me, do you think your marriage could have been saved? And I said, I'll honestly probably never know the answer to that. I won't, because I didn't stick it out to try as hard as I could have. But I also know that so many resentments had built up over the previous 15 years that it really didn't matter. I was ready to leave. Maybe it could have been saved, maybe it couldn't have, but I'm not sure it would have been saved indefinitely. Like, if you know what I mean? Maybe we could have saved it for now, but I think that ultimately we were destined to be divorced. One of the things he said is I didn't talk to him a lot about surgery, and from my perspective, I felt like, he didn't really understand what I was going through, and I really wanted to connect with people that understood what I was going through. From his perspective, I was getting this whole new fresh start on life, and he was feeling like he wasn't getting a fresh start on life, and I wasn't doing the best job I could have to include him to make it a fresh start together.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really common issue, is that people with weight loss surgery feel like, I'm going to restart my life now, and they totally forget, like, hey, you have a partner. It's not about restarting your life. It is, but it's also about restarting your life, like, more collectively. And we have a tendency to be really selfish, and I think that's a natural reaction to surgery. But it was really interesting to me that he kind of told me that, when we were struggling, he was feeling as left behind as I was feeling in another field altogether. And he acted on it differently than I acted on it. But in retrospect, if I had done a better job of making it a community, like a family experience, instead of I have to be selfish to meet my goals, we probably would have had a different experience. I still think we would have ended up divorced, but I really appreciated that he felt comfortable telling me that, as he thought about the end of our relationship. And it wasn't done in a, like, if you had done this, it would be different. It was more like, hey, I was talking to someone about this, and this was my experience, and I apologized. I was like, you know what, you're right. I was really not sure how to include you in that conversation because I didn't think you got it. And I did you a disservice by not also acknowledging that your life was changing too, and that it's probably painful to watch your partner start over again and not include them in the experience to the best of your ability. That's
awesome that you mentioned that too, because it's kind of how I feel right now with my wife, where she, I'm coming up on 6 months out post-op, and I've really been, focusing on myself and getting my journey going, but at the same time wanting to try and help her along as well. And just, even just this week, she really started to, focus, and, she's like, she really started to get more into the community as well, because she does have an account. And even before she started, even before she knew anybody on the account, anybody in the community, she kind of, took a similar name off of Spano, because she put it in as Ryan Less of Lewan, which is short for our last name. So she loved you even before she knew you, Sarah. So
well,
can I ask you a question, Andrew?
Yeah, sure.
Your wife is a total hottie. I was just looking at her selfie she posted the other day. I was like, damn, Andrew's a lucky man.
Damn straight.
And also, she has delightful hair. Just saying.
She just got it. She just got her hair cut, and she's.
Spano, shut the fuck up. It's my turn, bitch. I'm just kidding.
She just got her hair cut though, and she's like, I don't know if I like it short. I'm like, I think it's fucking awesome.
No,
I think
I
it's
love
really cool. And she is watching right now. She's downstairs watching. So, and I mean this from the truth. I love how her haircut now. I think it's awesome.
And you're sitting in your hair and makeup room, I can tell.
The Pink Palace, baby.
The Pink Palace.
So, Andrew, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of your head, don't give it too much thought. Top 3 reasons you had surgery.
One, I was 484 pounds. Two, I wanted to get back to somewhere around 250 pounds. And three, I wanted to be around longer for my wife and my daughter.
So the only reason that you named that wasn't a number was your wife and daughter. And yet, as weight loss surgery patients, we don't include them in the process to the best of our ability. Like, isn't that interesting to you?
It is interesting.
Here it is, like there. You only named one real reason. I mean, numbers are bullshit. You know, I think that. So you named, as far as I'm concerned, you gave me one of three legitimate reasons, which is technically an F, so you fail. But the one reason you did give me absolutely had everything to do with your relationships and nothing to do with you. So it's really, like, bizarre to me that as weight loss surgery patients, we then make the journey entirely about us.
And I think you
only gave me one reason that you had surgery, and it didn't even have anything to do with you. You know? It had everything to do with them.
Off the cuff, that's what I went with. I mean, if I gave it now that I've given it probably another, 30 seconds of thought, there's definitely more to it.
But your wife and daughter would be...
Absolutely. It's definitely a reason why I would want to have it done. But, I mean, at the same time, I do obviously, and I think not wanting to be the weight that I was and wanting to get to the weight that I am, a weight that I want to get to, it is just a reflection. I just want to have a healthier lifestyle overall.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I want to do that I feel like I'm going to have a better ability of doing when I get to, a lower weight. It's going to help physically, mentally, and, everything else. So.
No, and that didn't come from judgment. Like,
I
just,
understand.
In retrospect, I was obviously super selfish during a period of time. And it was different in that once I decided to refocus on relationships and not myself, it did slow my weight loss down. But I can also tell you that my life is far more enriched for that decision than it was when I was being really, really selfish. And I think that it's entirely possible. And I'm telling you this because you're 6 months out and you've had a significant amount of weight loss, but you still have more to go. You're in what I call the weight loss surgery danger zone, Kenny Loggins style.
Wait.
Woo, I'm going there. You're in the
favorite movie.
Top Gun danger zone, which is if you don't get your fucking priorities right in the next 3 weeks, your shit will blow up. And I don't know how, like Godfather style, I don't know how and I don't know when, but it will fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little warning from the future.
So do I get to ask Walter a question now?
Go for it.
Only if it has to do with my breasts.
No. It's not all about your
no.
I'm just saying.
I have small ones. I did before surgery, too.
I did say that I wanted to wear a lower cut top to show my cleavage, but I can't use my right arm right now, so I couldn't get changed.
Tell Gooch, are you still carrying Gooch around in your hand? Is he holding your right arm down? Is that what's going on? Is he wrapped around it full body koala style because he's like a foot tall?
I take him to Starbucks in a little bag with just his head sticking out.
Shit.
It's amazing.
Oh.
Anyway,
Gooch is actually the size of my sleeve.
Mm.
That's why we call him micro sleeve, because he's actually the size of my sleeve. I love you, Gucci.
It's not emasculating at all, I know.
Not a bit.
So, Walter.
Yes.
Talk to me, baby.
What's going on?
So, having watched a number of your videos, clearly, you've told a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but you've told a number of, oh, hi, sexy. She's just trying to distract me while I'm trying to talk to you, Walter. It's not going to work, just saying. Sorry, what? Okay, yeah. You've told a few stories about sort of traumatic things that had happened to you around, being morbidly obese and all that stuff. What is it like now that, you're kind of reaching that, like, almost kind of normal fat stage? You know what I'm talking about, because I've talked about this before. You got your, like, crazy fat, and then you're, like, sort of crazy fat, and then you get to, like, normal fat, and then you're like, oh, this is actually really different than crazy fat. So what's your experience been like with that? Like, how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely awkward. I'm getting to a place where I'm almost at a weight where I haven't been in a very long time. So much so, like, I forgot how, like, I had lost weight many, many times in my life. 100, 150, I mean, big clips, many, many times. Sometimes 25, 40 pounds. But, yeah, no, it feels great. I mean, I'm definitely getting a lot of compliments. So many NSVs. It's a wonderful feeling. It's great. But I try not to let it get me too high because I want to stick and really put my just nose to the grindstone and get to goal and try to get there as fast as I can. And then at the same time, though, thanks to Neo and a lot of different advice from the community, I realized that you got to start planning the other things first. You know, as well as you got to try to work on the weight loss, but also you got to plan for the future because once you get there, you don't want to just go, okay, now what?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you know, a dangerous sort of part there, other than the danger zone right now. There's a dangerous part there where if you just focus on weight loss, when you get to goal, it's like, oh, what do I do now? I've spent all this time just doing this, and I'm kind of lost. I would have gone through that, I'm fairly certain, if it were not for the fact that when I hit goal, my whole life had imploded, and so I was distracted by other things. I was like, what now? Hey, I know. So, yeah, but otherwise I'm very certain I would have been there because I really did, for like almost 2 years, focus exclusively on losing weight. And I definitely think I would have gotten to that point where I would have been like, oh my God, like, what do I do now? Because I don't know how to do maintenance or any of this other stuff. I just know
For
how
the
to...
record, some of us tried to get you to think about other things. No,
True.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
I'm just saying. I don't want to say, but I'm just saying. Because that's how Spoon rolls. Remember that time I told you? Yeah.
I know. For a long time, I was like, is it too soon to say I told you so yet? Like, can you just tell me when I can? Because I'm waiting for that one moment of glory.
Yeah, but everyone's all like, I told you so, and I'm all like, whatever.
But I most told you so.
You did most tell me so. I don't think people even know what we're talking about. We're just vaguely like having one of those friend moments where it's like they're talking about something we don't even know.
This is a big inside joke for the whole, you know.
No,
the
It is. You're all welcome. I hope that was riveting.
Clearly, Gooch and less of Sarah are having an affair. And I was like, no, we're not. And also, we're not. And also, we didn't. However, we actually talked about that when we were in New Orleans recently. And when we were there, we actually had this really long discussion about just like the two of us when we were in the car about how like we should have known. And we are both very similar, which is the problem. And I think, I mean, clearly there was denial there in the not conscious way. But like as we go back and pick over it, like even now we still go through this thing of like, well, how do you not know? How do you not? It's the Phil Olson school of analyzing things. It's delightful.
Phil.
Well, I gotta mention this. I gotta bring this up too because it was kind of, you know, Walter alluded to this as well with that forward thinking, and I still go back to this often. And we have to put in our, you know, weekly, you know, shout out to the Naked Truth. But Sarah Neo's appearance on the Naked Truth, seriously, like that forward thinking, that whole episode talking about the plan and the forward planning book and everything else, like that was just, it was very eye-opening, and it wasn't even weight loss related. To me, I didn't take it as weight loss related. I pulled so much other, you know, personal, you know, goal-oriented, you know, drive from that, you know, and I told her this. I said, you know, I'm, you know, obviously in the next couple of months, you know, I'm going to be, you know, making a move. Ryan and I and our daughter, we're all going to be moving to West Virginia here shortly, and, you know, similar to, you know, what, you know.
Do you have to give up your teeth at the border?
You know what? Thankfully, you know, I might be able to pull it off where I don't have to. But
Are you and Ryan so far apart in the genealogical tree that your marriage will be invalidated?
You know what? As long as I can learn banjo really well, I think I'll be okay.
Cool. I like banjo.
You're trading your teeth for the banjo. They give it to you.
But I mean, similar to what, you know, Sarah Spano had said, where she's going to have to drop off for a while. I may have to do the same for, a couple of weeks or a month or so because, I've got that shit I got to take care of before I can really get back into everything else. But the forward thinking itself, and we mentioned this to Neo, is that I have, a drive and a goal to one day, go into business for myself. And open up a brewery and do what I love to do, and it really kind of kicked that thought into overdrive after watching that. So I just got to say I really, really, really appreciated that episode because it got a lot of other thoughts going beyond just the weight loss itself.
Oh, that's awesome! I'm glad that people found value in it. For me, it's something that it's really interesting. They were talking about last night on another show, and I understand now that, like, you aren't allowed to name the shows on the show. There's this, like, super meta thing that they were arguing about whether or not it's okay to just, like, be happy or to constantly set new goals. And I'm one of those people that I am a hunter by nature. I'm in sales for a reason. I get off on accomplishing things. Like, I get a lot of, like, soul satisfying out of that. So I'm not one of the people that can sit back and relax and be happy more than a couple of weeks. And for me, it was like I felt like I had 36 years worth of dreams to accomplish. And one day I thought, shit, I'm going to run out of time. Like, I have lost time to make up for, and I just started writing them down and knocking them out and realizing that that's why I had surgery. Like, that's why I had surgery. It had nothing to do, I mean, it had some things to do with feeling uncomfortable and this and that, but, man, I will tell you, so much is happening in my business life right now, and I'm just excited all the time in a way that I don't think I've ever been. I mean, outside of, like, it was super exciting to get together with Chris and meet him and our romance and swept off our feet and star-crossed lovers and all of that. But, like, this is different because this is me just deciding my own destiny. Like, this is me deciding my own destiny, and there's something unbelievable about that. And I will tell you that when you decide that's what you're going to do, people want to help you get there. Like, people are attracted to people that want to do that. And the number of people that have come out from nowhere and asked if they could help me in ways I could never help myself is amazing. Like, we have a science and industry museum here that's super rad. It's called OMSI. And once a month, they have a 21 and over night called OMSI After Dark, and they serve beer and wine, and no kids are allowed, and you can just go around this, like, totally interactive museum and not have to fight with a kid for a water wheel boat. And you can just, like, play with a bunch of adults, right? Because I will cut a bitch. I will cut a bitch for one of those water wheel boats. I don't care if you're 4. I will pound you. So,
it's only you said, I don't care if you're Thor. I was like, well, I don't know that that's a good idea, but okay.
He's nothing without Mjolnir. What he has in brute strength, I have in tits. Bring it.
Speaking of Chris's, I'd like to bone.
Anyway, so I've been working with this convention. It turns out that the OMSI After Dark this month is on games, and they emailed me out of nowhere and asked if I wanted to have a table there and show some of my episodes. I mean, that shit just, like, doesn't happen unless you're trying hard and people believe that you love what you're doing. Like, I didn't even reach out to them. They reached out to me out of nowhere. My website wasn't even up yet. Like, that just happens when you're achieving. Is that something
that you feel would not have happened to Fat Sarah? Or do you think you wouldn't have allowed it to happen?
What would not have happened to Fat Sarah is that Fat Sarah never would have had the courage or the self-confidence to say, you know what I like to do? Play games, drink alcohol. Now I'm going to find a way to make money doing that. Like, Fat Sarah never would have done that. Fat Sarah would have been, I better keep this job and make sure I have health insurance benefits for my kids. Like, that's what Fat Sarah.
We all hold ourselves back. Like, I think we like to think that it's other people holding us back. Like, oh, I can't do that because people wouldn't, whatever. But I think in the end, it's really, we are holding ourselves back because we have that fat mentality. Like, oh, no, I'm not worthy of being successful or being,
right.
liked or being whatever.
It's not even worthy. It's that I am doing something that no one's ever really done before. And, like, I kind of just have blind faith that it's going to happen for me. I have a plan. I have options. I could go 5 different directions with it. I'm just going to keep going forward until one of the paths clearly presents itself. And I just kind of have blind faith that it will happen. And Fat Sarah didn't have blind faith in anything because Fat Sarah couldn't even lose weight.
See, I totally identify with that too. And at some point, you know, you have to just let it go and just go for it. I mean, because especially when I feel the same way. Like, I've wasted so many years letting, and I always say this intentionally, I let myself perceive that I couldn't achieve certain things because of my weight. You know, if it was whatever it was, acting, comedy. I mean, there's plenty of fat actors. There's plenty of, but I always felt like I had reached that freakish circus freak point where, you know, you no longer can play the fat best friend anymore. Now you're the guy who they have to cut the wall down to get out of the bed. Like, you get to a certain weight, and, you know, that's just how it is. But eventually, you have to, and I think it's really important, because I know that my place in the journey, because of your videos, was totally affected by that same video about planning, about you know, what is the real crux of the biscuit? What is the reason why you wanted the surgery? And you are so right. You're right on the head. It's like, I was unhappy and I want to get happy. I was doing the same thing. I always wanted to do all these different types of creative jobs, whether it be music, whether it be comedy, whatever it was. But they don't usually pay the rent. So you wind up in the same way that you would wind up settling in a relationship. You settle in a career. You just take whatever paycheck you can get, and, you know, and that's it. And you can do that for years and years and just coast through life and never do what it is that you really were passionate about. And I think it's incredible to do that.
I want to say 2 things. Number 1, I will tell you that where I'm at now is really confusing because I've invested so much time and capital and energy. And, man, I go to, like, I joined the Chamber of Commerce. I went to the Rotary lunch today. I have a business mentor through the Small Business Development Center that I meet with bi-weekly. Like, I've done all these things. And now I'm at a point where I can almost taste it. Oh, I dream about working for myself all the time, every day. I am, for the first time since I had weight loss surgery, dissatisfied with my job because I can taste it. And every day I go to work, I think, what would I be able to accomplish today if I didn't have to spend 8 hours here? Like, how much closer?
Right.
Like, how much closer could I be? And I actually, this is not shitting anyone, I got off the phone with a customer today. I literally screamed and threw my pen at a wall because I was so frustrated. So, this is a fucking waste of my time! Like,
that's the way I
don't
feel.
want to do it.
I keep saying the same thing. I don't want to work. I'm so sick of working for everybody else, putting in all this hours, slaving for them, and them never giving a shit. You never really have any kind of job security. And for what, you know?
Yeah. But hold on. No, Spano. Fucking no. I'm going to go back to what Andrew said. Something you said that you didn't know I was going to comment on, which is that when you move, you might have to step away from the community for a minute. I have a theory. Right. You know, I always have a fucking theory.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I always have a theory, and that is that, you know, before surgery, food is a form of comfort for us, and it's something we're familiar with and we can easily associate with. After surgery, the community of people that share that demon, we can no longer comfort ourselves with food, but they're comfortable with us because they almost have the same demon, they share the experience, and that becomes comfortable, right? It's like all of a sudden we don't have the other source of comfort, but we have these people that comfort us because they can talk to us about what we miss. Like, it's like when you grieve, like when you lose someone and then you connect with someone else that has lost a parent because they get it. But all of a sudden that becomes fucked up. And there is something in your life that happens when you let go of that comfort. Because nothing amazing happens in a comfort zone.
This is
so
all true.
All the time we spend on social media with other people that share our demon, it's all just a replacement of food at the end of the day, if it's a little bit out of balance. When you stop, and it can be balanced, I'm not saying it can't be balanced, or it can have purpose for you. Like I talk about Tanya all the time. She gets a deep sense of purpose and soul satisfaction out of it that I don't get. It's different for her than it is for me. But when you step away from Facebook and the videos for 3 weeks, I promise you there will be emotional energy, and it will be hard because all of a sudden you don't have that comfort again, right? But amazing things happen in discomfort. Like we use the community as a crutch sometimes because it's scary to do it alone. Why did we all look for YouTube videos in the first place? Because it's fucking scary to do it alone, and you look for someone who can go through it with you. But amazing things happen in your life when you jump off a cliff without a safety net. And those 3 to 6 weeks you spend without the community just might be the most amazing 3 to 6 weeks of your journey. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Well, I mean, I look forward to, you know, getting to that point and seeing what happens during that time. So, you know, we'll see. Who knows? So.
I think that's the hardest thing for me, and right now, and I just left a few videos a few weeks ago. I was like, I was freaking out with time management. I felt a responsibility to do this show because you know I appreciated the old Kings and what they did, and I wanted to try to be as up on everybody's videos. If we did a show, we should know what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But it's just a huge time sink. You cannot possibly watch everybody's video. And then the Facebook, I mean, I'm hardly on it because it's just very difficult to find a balance, and that's the thing I struggle with the most.
Oh, I know. I've been trying to have a conversation with you for 3 months now, fucking Walter. I know you're never on Facebook. I'm like, hey, I have an idea. Let's do a thing. And you're like, yeah, that's cool. Then I write back. It goes unread for a week and a fucking half. And then you log on and you're like, ask me a short question, and then you're fucking on again. It's like we're communicating with the Pony fucking Express. I have to wait for the horse to leave Oregon and get all the way to Walter.
I am so sorry.
Right back, but we're on Facebook. It should be instant. Not that I'm bitter. I'm just saying.
Hey,
you know what? And I'm sorry because sorry, Walter. I got to cut you off on this one because I've had a few messages where it's been like, dude, where the fuck is Walter? You know, what's going on? Why can't I get a hold of him? I'm like, you know, dude's elusive, man. He's going to be on when he's going to be on. You know, you got to just, you know, trust the process. When he's on, you cherish those moments.
That's right. It's all about quality, not quantity. But when I'm in San Diego, it's me and the waffles. We are going everywhere together.
Promises. I'm going to go up to your room. Sorry, that's Stu. I'm going to go up and knock on your door, and you're going to be like, yeah. And then you won't respond again for an hour and a half.
I do.
That's what's going to happen.
Watch it, Spoon. I don't share very well. I'm just saying. You think about that, okay? Just watch yourself.
Settle down, ladies.
Dude, I so wish I was going to WLSFA because I'd love to see all this shit that Walter's about to get himself into.
It's scary.
I'm just gonna sit at home and cry. That's what
I've spent a couple get-togethers that way, Spano.
I know, it's true. I'm gonna be the one texting you, FaceTime me.
And then you'll write back. I'm not saying I've ever gotten this before. You'll write back, sorry, shit got crazy. And that's like the end of it. I'm like, you can't leave a girl hanging. She's like, I swear I'll FaceTime to you tonight. Then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, she's like, sorry, shit got crazy. And then I ignore her for a day.
We can't go to this shit together because then we make videos like that one that we can't upload. With the planks and the pirates and the canoodling.
Bobby!
You can send that to me. Send that to me.
Bobby, say Spoonie. Say Spoonie.
Spoonie.
Spoonie. Now, ask me a female-related pirate question. And Bobby, like a fucking deer in headlights. I don't even know what that means. Frankly, I didn't know what it meant. But he's like, Bobby, ask me a female-related pirate question. Fucking radio silence from Bobby.
About his plank.
I asked if his plank got longer, but he couldn't reciprocate with a female-related question, so finally I just said, Bobby, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And that's where that came from, if you were
That's
ever
where that
curious.
came from.
Oh,
Nobody
okay.
knows because we can't upload that video because it's too scandaloso.
Oh, there's some weird shit that goes down.
Well, you could always make it a Facebook. You could make it private and make it a Facebook exclusive.
I already Facebooked an inappropriate video today. I'm just saying.
And I did see that. That was pretty damn funny.
I didn't see it. See, that's because I should
Well, that's
go
why,
on.
because you're never on fucking Facebook, dude.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Walter. The pony's gonna deliver it in a week and a half.
Let me just say,
On Betamax.
on
I think
Betamax.
if you don't want to see Sarah and I dress as pirates with her motorboating me, then don't watch it by all means. But honestly.
Oh, I want to see this. But
Rumsky.
in my defense, shit got crazy.
And I'm not
Crazy.
like,
Okay, Spano.
well, sometimes stuff happens and you just don't expect it. Just saying. I don't know.
So,
What was
Andrew-
Jimbo's question? I'm a big fan of Jimbo. He doesn't know it, Jim Haney.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
actually
a
a super big fan of his. He doesn't know it because I've never once interacted with him, but I have a little bit. Oh man,
I feel the same way. I have to say this. I feel the same way. Nobody interacts with me. I don't know if it's my accent, whatever it is.
We try. What do you mean no one does it?
Nobody interacts with you because you don't interact back with them.
You have to be there. That's like saying, it's so weird how you were all at the party and I was at home and no one said hey to me.
I'm trying to hide
your fucking
behind
ass has to be at the
water
party.
bottle. I can't hide behind this water bottle.
Oh man, I'm having so much fun tonight.
I yell a lot. You guys didn't know that about me.
No, I love it.
did.
It's. I feel like playing. This is. Never mind. What is Jimbo's question, which we almost didn't get to? It's 10 o'clock.
Well, Jim's question was kind of alluding to last week's video, as well as the poster, the fight poster I put together. He was asking about what's the best combination of Quest Bar to Astroglide.
Oh.
Well, I think that depends on where you're putting it, personally.
Well, I guess if it's Jim Haney, I don't think it's going in the mouth hole.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I prefer silicone-based. Astroglide isn't my favorite.
I'm not an Astroglide fan.
No,
also, I don't like those creepy ones that taste like things. I don't like them. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
No, also,
no.
it just makes previously fat Sarah angry. I'm like, you promised me coconut cream pie.
Might be creepy, but there's no fucking coconuts here.
But I will say this. I went to an event on Valentine's Day. Oh, I'm going to say this publicly where anyone can see it. Sorry, Mom, who's never going to see this. On Valentine's Day, Waffle and I went to a show in Portland called the Mystery Box Show, and it's a storytelling series where people tell stories related to sex or sexuality. So it's not like you jerk off while you're there. It's not like that. It's just people telling stories.
Then I'm not going.
Like, one guy told a story about his first time going to a strip club and how, awkward and uncomfortable it was. And in Portland, they do it for real. Imagine I'm a stripper's legs. You sit right up at the bar. It's like that. There's, pussy right there.
This is in Portland?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Best strip clubs in the country. Google it. It's a real thing.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's either Portland or Tampa.
No, Portland has them. Don't go to town with me on this. I will. I know for a fact. Portland has the best strip clubs. Anyway, we have fire dancers. The time I saw a stripper, ass fucking naked, fire dancer, dancing to Faith by George Michael, she drew a cross on her chest and then set it on fire, and then ate herself out with a Jesus puppet. There are not enough singles. There are not enough singles. There are not enough singles. Anyway, so back to me. So we go to the show, and I paid $25 for VIP seats because they came with a gift bag and regular seats were $16. And I was like, it's Valentine's Day. I want to be VIP. It came with a $200 vibrator. For real. This thing does things Waffle couldn't even dream of. And we both got one.
Bought basically the same one, so that's kind of creepy.
Then I told some people, and they went and bought it. And it came with the best toy cleaner and the best lube I've ever used.
Really? What brand was it? Do tell.
It's all Lilo. Lilo sponsored the
Oh,
event.
it's the Lilo. See, yeah, I did not buy I thought about it, and then I was like, I'm going to just not spend all that money right this second. But
Yeah, so the bottom line is we spent $50 and came home with like $400 worth of vibrator alone, plus other things, and chocolates, and pie.
I'm not sure whether I'd be more excited about the vibrators or the chocolates.
There we go. Sorry. So this conversation has never happened on FatKings before.
Yeah.
Sorry, gentlemen.
That's not true. I own I have a gun rack of vibrators. Don't worry. So that was the question. That was the big question.
It was the Astroglide 2 Quest Bar.
Oh,
I mean, that was
and
really it. And the only other questions that we've been getting on the chat are, some of the new people joining in, because obviously we're bringing in, two of the big names that everyone's wondering, well, why do we have the chat bar and other shows only have the comment section? Because I said we're cool like that.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
Yeah, well,
I think that FatKings is the best weight loss surgery related YouTube show that starts with F. Just saying.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to edit
Wait,
that.
hold on.
Hold on.
I have to think.
It doesn't have numbers in it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I saved it. It's okay.
I'm
Okay.
a big fan.
Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
I'm going to take that endorsement. I'm going to cut that part right before you said the F in it, and that's going to be our banner.
Yeah, we're just going to play it on a loop. That's going to be our channel intro.
Here's my endorsement. FatKings is the only show where they promised they knew what to do when I was on top.
There you go.
Of all the shows I've been on, that's a first.
FatKings know their place.
Hey, listen.
Oh, shit.
That's right. We know our place. Speaking of knowing our place, why don't we give you some time to plug Critical Bricks? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yes, I was hoping this would get brought up because I'm a big fan of this. I'm really looking forward. I saw the first episode, and I've been talking with her about this. Yes, please.
It wasn't the first episode. Man, was a kind of an accident, and I promise it will get better. I couldn't say. There came a point when I couldn't say méthode champenoise. Did you like that edit? Okay.
What?
I wanted the show to be 10 to 15 minutes long. But it took me, I kind of went into it all like, I'll just figure it out while I go. 2 hours later, I still hadn't finished it. In that time, I drank an entire bottle of sparkling wine and no food. Because I just kept drinking. And then I tried to say at the end, it took, I'm not even lying, 17 takes for me to say this. Until next time, this is Sarah Waffle with Critical Bricks, the place online where geek meets drink. That's like a very complex sentence when you're drunk. Like super complex. 17 takes. Anyway, Critical Bricks is my new website. It's Critical Bricks, bricks with an X, so C-R-I-T.
You might want to work on that.
Bricks with an X, so C-R-I-P.
Right.
Critical.com. It's a web TV show where I give you a little taste of a drink that you should be drinking when you play a little taste of a game I'm going to give you a taste of. I have coming up interviews with distillers, brewers, winemakers, game developers. I just met with a Portland game developer, 2 gentlemen, on Tuesday night that self-published a card game that's actually a fucking blast. We met at a brewery, drank a pint, they taught me their game. I'm the official vlogger for a board game convention next weekend. I'm going to film an episode there with them. So I have all sorts of fun stuff coming up. I'm going to be at OMSI After Dark. And then actually their game, right now I have three games set up that in about, when that episode airs, I'm going to open my online store and sell that game online. And you can only get it 5 places in the world right now, only one of which is online. So I'm going to have a little online retail store. It's a fun card game. It's a fast-paced card game where you have to try and build the anecdote to stop the zombies. Cool. So... And there are no turns. You all play at the same time. So it's kind of like it has a little speed nostalgia. Like if you ever played the game like Card Game Speed, it has some Uno nostalgia. It was fun. You can play a game in 10 minutes or less. So yeah, I have an online store coming. I have I'm actually technically I own Going Viral, which I don't really own, but they're housed under my LLC. And then down the road, I'm going to have more vlogs. I'm going to have some maybe nerd music.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Books, so.
But you said go back to nerd music because then you cut off for a second there.
Yeah, the objective is to eventually, after I build some viewership, have a nerd music vlog, a nerd movie vlog, a comic book vlog, a couple of other things going on where you just talk about nerd pop culture in a slightly different way. So I'm super excited. I maybe have some plans to get some merchandise going, and then when I launch the ultimate part of it, I promise I will do it with you guys.
Wow, you heard it here first.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah.
I'll give you rights to it. I can't tell you what it is yet, but
yeah, I am so looking forward to that. And so has 20-sided Vice been taken off the table? Because that's what I'm looking for. Are you going to just combine it into one thing, or?
well, I own the URL and the Gmail and the Twitter and everything. Right now, I'm going to redirect 20-sided Vice, but ultimately, it's going to be like Geek and Sundry 20-sided Vice, and then Critical Bricks will be one branch of it, and then eventually we'll have other ones.
Sounds
So
good.
I bought it all up, and 20-sided Vice LLC is my official business name, licensed with the state, and so yeah, we'll just see what happens. We have a lot going on.
Well, I would love to be a guest blogger every once in a while if you want to talk about lots of different pop culture stuff. I would love
You
to.
and I would have already talked about that if you ever responded to my Facebook chats.
Right. See, if you would have talked to her like I've been talking to her, she's got homebrew of mine on its way
On its
to
way.
Oregon.
Wow.
Fight. Get the mud wrestling pit.
And just to give you a little taste, when I do my episode on Madness, the card game, the zombie card game, I'm pairing it with are you ready for this? Bloody Mary. What?
Oh,
That's funny.
I see what you did there.
You can go all Canadian and do a Bloody Caesar instead.
And no, fuck Canadians. It's
What?
cold over there.
Don't lie. You like some clam juice. I know you
You're
do.
like our hat. You're like our hat. Sometimes I want you, sometimes I don't. This is all about how you make me look.
I'm like your hat. You want to put your head up in me? What?
But
Oh.
I'm working with New Deal Distillery. They have a hot pepper vodka. They're gonna help me do the episode on Bloody Marys with that. I'm super excited. I'm having a great time.
Dude, that's sweet.
Mhm.
I always go back when people talk about U.S. to Canada. I always go back to Robin Williams. They say Canada's like a loft apartment over a really great party.
Or
That's
Kathleen Madigan says Canada is like our attic. You forget it's there, and then sometimes you go up and you're like, oh, look at all this stuff.
It's true.
Yeah, she's funny. I like her.
We're just up here minding our own business. That's all. You know. I like to abscond with an American or two every once in a while.
Oh,
Whatever.
really?
Well, eventually you've got to move some stuff up to the attic, so there's Gooch.
Exactly.
Yeah, the rest of us were like, we're done with him for now. Let's bring him out every season or so, once a year.
Anyone missing
Send him to the attic.
Listen,
So-
less of Sarah. Worth the move to Canada. I'm just saying.
I think she got a point. She's got a point.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I can't hate. I've been up to Canada a few times myself. When I was living in Northwest Ohio, it was an hour drive just across the bridge from Detroit, where a young 19-year-old could go and get a hotel room and get wasted.
That's not the good part of Canada, though.
I'm not saying it was a good
used
part of
to-
Canada, but it was technically Canada.
When I lived in Burlington, the Canadian dollar was 50 cents on the American dollar. Montreal was
now, trust me.
Montreal was an hour and a half away.
Oh,
Or
I love
maybe I
Montreal.
have it all reversed. But the bottom line is, every weekend I went to the little Europe in my backyard where everything was half priced.
I love Montreal.
I fucking ate like a king. I stayed in the nicest hotels. I bought shit I couldn't afford in the States. And then I tried to cross the border and they're all like, what was your business in Canada, eh? And I was like, I spent money. And they're like, come on back.
Oh, I love Montreal.
I love
What was it?
Montreal.
Was it the Rue de Catherine? The Rue de Catherine?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! I used to go there many times a year. I love Montreal.
It's delightful.
Yeah,
Yes.
I only stayed right along the water in Windsor, so I was just the casinos and the crappy hotels.
Yeah, I was like, Windsor's all like the casino and like strip clubs and a delightful view of Detroit. not so much.
And that's literally, I stayed at a hotel. I stayed at a hotel that was right on the river. I went to Casino Windsor, and then I went to the strip club that was right next to Casino
Right,
Windsor.
because that's you did everything in Windsor. Like you
I
just
did everything I wanted to do as a 19-year-old. Oh, and I went to the beer store, which was that was probably more fun than the strip club.
Yeah, because our beer store is literally called the beer store.
Exactly.
Because we have our alcohol is all provincially regulated here. You can only buy beer and wine and hard liquor in provincially run stores. There are no liquor
Same
stores.
with Oregon.
Take off, eh?
Yeah, so we have our beer store is called the beer store, and then our liquor stores are called the LCBO, which is ridiculous. It stands for Liquor Control Board of Ontario, which is not a sexy name.
No, the beer store is just cool. It's just
expensive as in the U.S. So I love you because I'm actually drinking alcohol tonight, spending all my money. So
Well, I kept it in the States. I kept it in the States, and for WLSFA, it's San Diego, Stone Brewing. And this shit's already gone.
Yorkins.
I'm drinking, God, I am going to sound like a pussy right now. I'm drinking Smirnoff sour watermelon vodka and Diet Squirt. It's good, though.
Squirt.
I let Walter say it. So I was like,
all right, girls. So since I have you here and we're talking about drinking, I want to know your opinion. This is me. Last week I kind of hinted at this, and I want to know what you think. I am going to go to San Diego and be sober. Am I a pussy?
Do it.
Yes or no?
No.
No. Yeah.
How
Clearly,
far out will you be?
there are officers that like drinking, but that is not required at all.
I would be 5 months out.
Okay, and did you drink before surgery? Are you a drinker?
I was a heavy drinker beforehand, yeah, but I previously stopped because of different medications. So I haven't had a drink in over 6 years.
This is my advice to you. Number one, I have often said, someone asked me, in fact, I think it was on The Naked Truth, what do you wish you would have done different? And the number one thing I said is I started drinking at 3 months out, and I wish I would have waited longer.
See, so many people say that.
I wish I would have waited longer.
I mean,
so
I
totally respect you not wanting to. Number two, a number of us will imbibe, and I hope you don't hate us afterwards because I have a really big girl crush on you.
Oh, you're not
them. Okay. Okay.
No, actually,
you're gonna have to tolerate some really dumb shit. But if you can party, if you can hang like that, no one cares if you drink or you don't drink. And I want you to have the best journey you can. And if not drinking is part of that plan, then I'm all for it.
That's cool. No, if you saw the way my friends and my family party, I can sit there. If I can sit through with them, I can sit there with anybody. I mean, we party pretty hard. I'm able to. I still have fun. I can have fun either way. So.
Yeah,
I'm not a prude. I'm not going to be like, it's not going to ruin my day.
You do you then.
Yeah,
you do you.
And I actually think it would be kind of cool because, if for whatever reason somebody's watching this and somebody's on the fence, I just want to prove that you can go to a major meet and greet and have a great time and stay sober. So
totally, no, I totally agree. And actually, I'm gonna spend a portion of the time sober because the Saturday that we're there is International Tabletop Day, which is the once a day year that Will Wheaton has their events all around the world. And I'm gonna leave the event for a little bit on Saturday and go to a board game store in San Diego. I haven't figured out which one yet, and just film a little bit because I would be remiss if I didn't post a video on International. So I'm not gonna be. And there are get-togethers where I day drank. I woke up and breakfast was drinking, and it just never stopped. That's not going to be me in San Diego, and I know Waff is going to be the same way because he's emceeing events all throughout the day. So I'll be there with you. I'm not going to be the same drunk I was at some other get-togethers. I go half and half. I really like drinking, but sometimes I like not drinking all the time. So I'll be definitely sober with you sometimes, and I have business to take care of. I can't, First things first.
I mean, I know I had a drinking problem. I mean, it's a big deal for me, and I don't want it to trigger that. I get into that party mentality, that old,
Are you worried about it? Are you concerned about being able?
Yeah, I'm worried about it. So
are you worried that you will drink? Like you've decided now that you don't want to drink? Are you worried that you'll feel like you want to there and make the decision to and then struggle with it?
I'm worried that if I start Mr. Wonderful there, I will continue to bring Mr. Wonderful home, and it'll be just a downward spiral. And
You want to
you
be
know,
buddies? I'll have your back there. I'll help you stay strong, if that will
Okay.
help you.
no,
Yeah.
I really do.
I am going to
I'm
drink, but I will. But in the spirit of just being one of your biggest fans and just really caring about you and your journey, I will not be super drunk, Sarah, and I will have your back, and we'll make good choices together.
You can get as shit faced as you want. It's fine.
Because I will.
All right, good.
She was waiting for you to say that.
Bullshit on that, but I was trying to be nice. I was like,
No, but I will, like,
Okay.
I will. If I know that you don't want to, I won't put you in a position where you feel like you should. You know what I mean? Like I will.
Yeah.
I will totally respect that, and I'm glad
Like,
we had that
well,
conversation.
that's the only reason why I'm even mentioning this stuff is not to like, but because you know, like when you're there and it was like, oh, just drink, you fucking asshole, stop fucking. I'm hoping that if I say this, like people won't do that and put me in that position. I mean, I'm not going to cave anyway. I would just say I don't want to, and I don't think it's going to get like crazy peer pressure.
no,
Chris
Chris just texted me and was like, I can't post in the chat, but tell Walter I don't drink. It's true. He really doesn't drink at all.
Really.
And I don't think that's ever stopped him from having fun at an event. So
He's like Gene Simmons. He's a rock star that doesn't drink.
yes, exactly. Well, you know why? It's because he's done everything.
Yeah.
He literally is pretty much. Oh, okay. Let me not say it like that. But I won't say he's the most boring person I know. But what I will say is that you can't. There's nothing new. You know. So I'm kind of like, hey, want to do this? He's like, yeah, whatever. I've done that like 5 times already, and I'm like, oh, okay. What
That's
about
a
this?
little.
No. How about
That's
this?
a little
No.
bit the way Waff is too. I mean, Waff can drink. Waff and I will drink, but usually Waff is the designated driver, and he doesn't enjoy drinking as much as I do. And also, I still have the problem. I don't know what magic elixir Dr. Aceves gave us, but I have way more trouble understanding my own tolerance and my own body than Chris does. So, like, I will say I'm going to be the designated driver and over the course of the night only have 2 drinks, and that does not mean I'm okay to drive.
No, that happened to me last week or the week before. I had 2 drinks and I was like shit-faced. And yet sometimes I can have 10 drinks and I'm not fine, but I mean, it's not like for me, I thought it was maybe a timing issue. Like, oh, well, maybe because I'm early out, I get drunk faster, but later on my tolerance. No, it changes. And it's not even food related. It doesn't have anything to do with when I ate or it's just one of those things. And so it can be dangerous because you can no longer say, oh, well, if I have a drink an hour, I'll be all right. Or if I have 3 drinks, I'll be okay. Like, you just don't know from time to time.
I tell people, people don't understand this. My experience is that sobriety is a moving target for me. So, like, the other night I went out, and by all rights, given my past experience after surgery, I should have been okay, and I wasn't. By how much I drank, and Sarah knows about me, I had an experience last summer where I was very nearly sexually assaulted because I didn't eat when I was drinking and I couldn't defend myself. And I was not used to being prey at a bar. And by the grace of who knows what, I was able to avoid it and fight my way away. But I have a rule now where I won't drink without eating because I get in trouble, and I won't drink alone.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I definitely would never drink alone or with people that I don't trust intimately.
And it's not that I won't drink alone. Like, I'm the only one home now because our teenage daughter is in the orchestra pit at the school play, and so Chris took the kids tonight, and I'm going to go another night and see her. So I'm home alone drinking, but I will not go to a bar by myself and drink.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink alone in public. Yeah.
Period. And Fat Sarah could do that all day long, and no one offered to buy me drinks, and no one tried to drag me off the hotel elevator. Like, that never happened before. So I had to establish new boundaries, and and at the same time, my sobriety is a moving target. So one day I can have 2 drinks and be perfectly fine. One day I can have 4 drinks and be perfectly fine. The next day I can have 1 drink and not be okay. It's like, there's no rhyme or reason to it as in my experience. So I just have to be really cautious of drinking now, and that wasn't my experience. And also, here's the other thing: being drunk feels different. So my old tells that was like, when this happens, you're not okay to drive, or when this happens, you need to slow down, my tells have totally changed. I can walk fine. I don't slur my words. In fact, I went down to my neighbor's house to get some loose powder. She sells makeup. And while I was there, I drank an entire bottle of wine. And I was trashed. I was trashed. Came home. It wasn't until 3 days later when Waff was like, why were you so, like, upset about this thing I said? And I was like, because I drank an entire bottle of wine and I was drunk. He had no idea I was drunk.
Wow.
I had none of the tells. I wasn't slurring. I wasn't stumbling. I was perfectly coherent. And I'm telling you now, I didn't drive because I just walked 3 houses down. But I wasn't capable of any of the things. You know what I mean? I just don't have the same tells now after surgery. So it's a really, it's a difficult course to navigate now.
Well,
not what you asked, not what you asked at all, but just as an aside, that's my experience with drinking.
No,
you can go from okay to not okay really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've definitely been there where I'm literally in the middle of drinking my drink and I felt totally fine, like I was okay, and then all of a sudden, like 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not okay right now. Like, I find sometimes that, like, it just hits me all of a sudden, and, you know, I go from, like, yeah, I think that I'm probably not totally sober, but it feels like I am, to all of a sudden feeling like I'm hammered in, like, the span of 2 minutes.
Lindsay, Flygirl VSG, and I have talked about that. That's one of the issues. That's the reason I never drive when Chris and I go out, because I 1,000% of the time always think I'm sober.
I will not drive at all.
There have been nights on Valentine's Day, I had 12 drinks from 1 p.m. until 10 p.m. and hardly ate, but maybe 5 tater tots, and thought I was completely fucking sober.
Holy
like, that's not, I was sure I was sober. I offered to drive, which is why I don't drive now. And before surgery, I had very clear, like, I knew, and I was very good about it. What I know about myself now is that I cannot trust myself to be the decider on whether or not it's okay for me to drive. Like, I can't be.
It frightens me because, I mean, there's many times I was blacked out, have no idea how I got home. Actually, one of my favorite stories is when I came home. I don't know how I got home, and it's the next day, and I smell, I think someone's cooking bacon. So I'm like, oh, it's so good, I can't wait. So I kind of like rouse myself and start to wake up, and I realized that my arm is actually stuck to the riser pipe. The heat, it was like in the middle of the winter.
Oh.
My arm was literally stuck to it, and I had to peel it off. I actually have a scar. And so the worst part of that was when I get up, the bacon was me. It wasn't the bacon.
Right. No, it's weird, but you know, I've talked to other people that have, and Lindsay and I share this experience, which is that we all, and it's not even like we're being negligent. I legitimately always think I'm sober now. I don't know how to explain it.
That's
like
scary,
it is scary, which is why I've taken certain things out of my control. Waff right now knows he always has to be the designated driver, and it sucks for him. But I cannot be trusted, and I do not know, and we never know if it's 1 drink or 6 drinks that will take me out. Like, we never know.
Don't know. Yeah.
And I think
no matter what, I'll think I'm sober.
See, but I think it's different for a woman because you obviously there are predators out there. I mean, when like Tanya was saying, like when she used to dance, it was just dancing, and now it's not the same thing.
It's not.
Yeah.
I've danced with Tanya, so I know.
I'll tell the story. I am going to tell it quick because this is a warning to any women watching. So what happened was I was away on business, and it was 3 days before my wedding in Vegas, and I was away on business, and I went to the hotel bar, and I struck up a conversation with a nice man next to me who was married, wearing a ring, and I was wearing my engagement ring, and we were having a conversation about how in 3 days I was getting married. And he said, oh, man, let me buy you a drink. That's awesome. And Fat Sarah had never had someone buy me a drink before. Fat Sarah had been to the hotel bar 1,000 times and never had someone offer to buy me a drink. And Skinny Sarah thought he was buying me a drink or two because we were talking about my wedding and it was celebratory. The truth is, this is the honest, I did not, and I feel dumb that I didn't know this. because I should have known it, but I've been fat my whole life and I had never had any other experience. If a man buys you a drink in a hotel bar, he thinks you're going to fuck him. He does, and I didn't know that. I've been fat my whole life.
Well,
so this man buys me 2 drinks. We're celebrating my impending wedding. We're there for a work conference, and the bar closes, and we get in the elevator to go home, and he tries to drag me off the elevator, kicking and screaming on his floor.
What a fucking asshole.
I fought him off, and I don't know how, because I had drank too much, and it was one of those experiences that still shakes me to this day, because that had never happened to me. I had never been prey. I was almost 350 pounds. I mean, no one tried to drag me off the elevator to their hotel room. Like, this was all a completely foreign world to me. So that was a hard learned. And actually, Tanya talked about it on a 50 Shades episode. But, like, she didn't use my name, and we were just talking about being prey in a bar, and it's a different world now. And alcohol, that's why I don't drink alone at a bar. Because, you know what? I had 3 martinis that night. On any other night, I wouldn't have been able to fight him off. And for some reason that night, I was able to. But 3 martinis can level me. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, thank God you were right.
Yeah, no, but that's just the reality of post-op life. And I know, Sarah, like, we've talked a lot about being a woman in a bar after surgery and how you don't understand other people's intentions because you're doing the same fucking things you've done every other time, and all of a sudden other people's intentions are different. And there's a nuance there that we aren't prepared to read.
Well, because when you are super morbidly obese, you don't learn those things because it doesn't happen to you.
Right.
I will not say it didn't never happen to me. That's kind of the weird part. But
because you're better than me, Sarah. You're sexier.
Now I feel like I still have, like, Fat Sarah still thinks no one is looking at her. Mm-hmm. If a guy talks to her, he's definitely not hitting on her. Women are different, but for some reason, if a woman is checking me out, I'm like, oh, look, she's checking me out. Like, I totally know when a girl is checking me out, but a guy, I'm always like, oh, no, he's not checking me out.
I think
I must have something in my teeth. Like, I just always think there's no way that guy's looking at me or that it's just, even if that's what's going on, it just never occurs to me. And this is why I don't drink alone in public, because I could, even not drinking, I could easily be in that situation because I absolutely would never think until it was more than obvious that was the intention. And I think that is a dangerous thing for a lot of women after surgery that people don't necessarily talk about or think about, is that becomes easy to be prey, not necessarily even just the sense of sexual assault, but even just like getting yourself into a situation where you might do something that you wouldn't normally do or whatever it is, you know. When you have those experiences that you've never had before, sometimes that is tempting, and sometimes it's exhilarating, right? Like, if no one's ever paid attention to you before, and all of a sudden someone's like, oh, you know, you're beautiful or whatever, it's like, oh, yes I am, thank you.
But, you know, I wasn't, there are so many women our age that understand that you have to, I'm going to get political for a second, sorry. You have to be the one to protect yourself against rape and sexual assault. And culturally, it's not the man's obligation to not learn to do it. It's the woman's obligation to protect herself. And when you've been obese your whole life, that's not a skill you necessarily learned. And I'm not saying that that obese people never learned it, but it is a nuance and a skill I never learned. And the justice part of me is like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm not inviting you to do me. I never learned that culturally it's my obligation to protect myself from sexual assault. Like, well, I didn't learn that.
Well, as a man, I cringe at that but it is true. You can't expect, there aren't that many men left, so.
Yeah. No, and I'm sorry, I took it to a downer place, but we don't talk about that a lot in the community, and I know I'm not the only person that experienced it, so I just thought it was really valuable.
Certainly understandable. It makes perfect sense.
You know, Sarah, we should do a SizeQueens on that, don't you think?
You should. You guys should do it more often. Come on,
let's go. SizeQueens, what's that? The show we do twice a year?
But I could just...
it's just this random name that we put on about the today's show. I mean, whatever that. We just came up with that.
So let me just try to bring it back to some semblance of fun. Because, you know, nothing's as funny as rape and assault, but just so
I just laughed.
Yes, so did I.
Rape.
Just to break it down, I think it was Chris Rock. This is the easiest way for any woman to remember. When a guy is saying something to you, he's just asking you, would you like some dick? That's pretty much...
I think that's true. That's how I look at it.
That's actually true in my marriage.
You know what's bad?
When Waffle says good morning?
What I hear is, do you want dinner? Apparently what he's actually saying is, do you want dick?
Yeah, that could be it. It's just, it's a good rule of thumb. It's not always right, but...
I think fundamentally what women don't understand is men aren't actually that picky. So, like, we're all like, oh, a man would never want me because I'm, like, fat, or I have this, or I have that, or, oh, my God, I have a pimple. And, no, they're not really that picky. It's true.
Some men aren't, yes.
I'm trying to remember what movie it came from. He said, you give me 2 popsicle sticks and a rubber band, I'll try to find a way to fuck it.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying when it comes to just sexual encounters, they're not that picky. We're not talking about relationships, but, you know, just...
See, I assumed I had no self-worth because I was fat, like no one would want to fuck me. The problem is I got married young. What I learned from Blue Mountain State, which is a fucking hilarious show on Netflix, I've watched it twice,
yeah, it's a great
is that there's always the trickle-down fuck. So just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm going to be the first choice, but someone will fuck me. Someone will. Might be special teams, but someone will fuck me. Won't be the quarterback. Won't be the quarterback. I'll get second string, but what? You're what?
Bleeding.
You get the team manager.
I have like all this like gauze happening here, and I just look down and I'm like, oh shit, it's getting all. Anyway.
Look at that shit.
How you doing? Right? You need another painkiller? Get Gooch to get you some more painkillers.
I know. Well, I have. It's right here.
Oh, good. All right, there you go.
It's special.
More Malibu.
Well, we're not going to try to match the 50 Shades of Maintenance and go 7 hours.
No, but hey, there are a couple of quick things I want to bring up because I have been watching the stream. People have been commenting, and there have been a couple of quick questions. To go all the way back to when Walter was talking about obviously not wanting to drink, Aussie Lightweight VSG, she had said, Walter, if you can refuse a Tic Tac, you can certainly refuse a drink.
That's right. Thank you. That's my legend. Yeah, that's part of my legend.
I think that is what you need to go into WLSFA with that mindset. You can refuse a Tic Tac. You can refuse the booze.
Fun fact, in most other countries, all Tic Tacs are white. You're welcome.
Also true, yes.
Listen, I want to play. I think we have to play some games in San Diego. We should do that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was non-sexual.
Yes.
Non-sexual at all. That wasn't what I meant.
Well, you need to do too. What's that?
I said, and also some sexual games.
And also sexual games.
Yeah, we need like a Cards Against Humanity.
I'll bring it.
We need to do that. We need to do that online. Like I posted it earlier on the FatKings.
But I read that thing and it said you have to be in the same room. What's up with that?
No, fuck that. I figured out how you do it. You do a Google Hangout and you run the site at the same time. Everybody can still talk to one another and still use the game.
I think we need to discuss.
Oh, I have a favorite rule in Cards Against Humanity, and that is the variant rule of Rando Carlesian. Random Carlesian. Which is when you just take a random card and you add it in the stack, and the number of times that card wins, it's alarming.
Well, if it's Pac-Man uncontrollably guzzling cum, that will always win.
Not my favorite.
See, for us, the favorite card that always wins is the Grundle, the Taint, the Fleshy Fun Bridge.
Yeah, I do enjoy that one. The card that always wins when I play is My Vagina. I mean, that's
always.
I'm not talking about My Vagina, but literally the card that is My Vagina.
I have such a fondness for a Cards Against Humanity card that I made Chris write an entire song about it, and it's actually their best song.
Yeah. So why don't you plug those guys too?
What about going viral?
GoingViralRocks.com. They are so much fun. I think they're recording some more stuff this Sunday at home, but we just picked a studio for them to record their album in this summer. We just did a show. Oh my God, their song about my Cards Against Humanity cards. So good. Also, if you like Evil Dead, are either of you an Evil Dead fan? Bruce Campbell.
Yes. Hail to the Kings, baby. We see.
Yeah, so he wrote a song they just played live for the first time called Can I Be Your Bruce Campbell?
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's full of Bruce Campbell B horror movie references. It's so good. It's also a love song because he wants to be your Bruce Campbell. He wants to be your big-chinned man.
I get it. I love it.
Nice.
So there's a lot of good stuff coming from them. They'll record, but I think we're gonna put some more stuff up next week. They're booking gigs now. We're having a good time. We'll do some conventions this coming year.
I saw you did they posted a couple of videos on their YouTube channel. So.
Yeah, they did the music for my theme song too. I won't tell them that I sang, like, don't blame the vocals on them. The vocals was me, but they recorded the music for my theme song. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Very nice. Question that Jennifer, our favorite Jennifer Bleacher, was posting, because I know I was talking with Sarah Neo about this, but Sarah Spano, are you going to OH by chance this year?
I don't know. So, we planned on going to WSFA this year, and
you're coming. Come on.
Yeah, I said there will be no surprise. Trust me. It wasn't gonna happen for a number of reasons. Mostly because Chris and I both started new jobs recently, and I just have no vacation to be able to go away. So that sucks. As far as things happening like in the second half of the year. Maybe, maybe not. I would like to go. I don't know that it's going to happen, so it's kind of up in the air. I love going to events. I love hanging out with weight loss surgery people. There might be some informal things going on at some point. Who knows? So, yeah, but as far as OH specifically, I don't know. That's probably the best answer I can give right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And our status,
everyone should come and visit me in Canada. Like, I think I should have an event here so everyone can appreciate how delightful Canada is.
Spano-a-thon.
Let's go.
Our status on OH.
Sarah.
More of Sarah. Oh,
Yeah.
hello. Pull those meat curtains back. Let's see your puppy show.
Please. Let's not talk about what's going on downstairs right now, okay?
Our status on OH is a solid who knows. Probably not, but it's still up in the air a little bit. And but Wafflepalooza June 6th at our house with Stewie, the official dog of Critical Bricks.
All
and
right,
going
sounds
viral.
good.
So.
Sounds good. Andrew, what are you texting?
I gotta. No, I'm looking at Facebook. Erica, Mrs. BVSG says, go to OH, Spano.
Go to
Do it.
OH.
I think Erica just needs to come and visit me, and also she needs to do my hair. Because that bitch has fierce hair. I actually, she doesn't even know this. I took one of her pictures and showed it to my hairstylist. It was like, this is how I want to grow out my hair, so get to work. I did.
Nice.
Can I call you Spagucci?
Can you call me Spagucci? Absolutely. In fact, I will announce this on the show right now. Should Chris Spagucci ever make an honest woman of me when I don't actually still have a husband, then
there's not a marriage.
Our names to the common Spagucci.
There's not a fucking marriage license in the world that will make an honest woman out of you.
Quiet. It might be true, but you don't have to tell everyone.
Let's say it's Spagucci.
I like Spagucci. That's cute.
Right?
There
Spagucci,
you go.
delightful.
Spagucci works.
Spagucci sounds like some kind of like pasta, like spaghetti, but
I do.
different.
Right.
I feel like Spagucci comes with ricotta cheese.
It could.
And has a bad Italian accent.
I think Spagucci has some bacon in it for sure.
It's a Spagucci.
I'm really good / bad at accents. You may remember the way I won Chris Waffle's heart, which is I don't even know if I can do it. Spice.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
So good.
Oh my god.
So good.
Thank God you're hot, because that wouldn't work on, like, no. I'm sorry. It was
This
so
is my
bad.
Italian
So
accent.
bad.
Are you ready for my Italian accent?
Go
I
for
like
it.
spaghetti with ricotta.
Yeah, that wasn't good either.
Wow. That was pretty bad.
I like some Spagucci at Olive Garden.
Walter, save us, please.
Spagucci sounds like it's borderline dirty. It's like I gave my girlfriend a rusty trombone and a Spagucci
A tricky spagucci. I want it to be called the tricky spagucci.
Tricky spagucci.
It also
Because-
kind of sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. Like, oh shit, I got the spagucci.
Yeah.
Or just a really nasty.
I want
name
to
for, like,
name. I want to name Pub Shed the Tricky Pickle. But Waffle wants to name it the Sticky Waffle.
Oh, I love that too.
Yeah, that's
Right?
pretty good.
I do
Good.
like sticky waffle.
Do
Maybe you can call it the sticky waffle, but then the bar can be the tricky pickle.
Ah.
There you go. See,
I'm a
compromise.
problem solver. I like
Bringing
to
it
help.
together.
That's
Bringing
good.
it together.
Yeah.
So, are there any actual questions in the YouTube?
No, I think
No,
we're
your longest
pretty
show
good.
ever. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we're having a blast, though. I mean, shit.
We like it
Well-
long.
Yeah, baby. Let me just kiss your asses one more time for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. Both of you are amazing, and I find your advice has been invaluable to me, and your journeys have been an inspiration, and I just want to really thank you guys for that.
Oh, I'm a big fan
Hold
of
on, let me
yours.
just gaze at you for a little while longer.
Oh,
Some-
stop it.
Sometimes I think about you when Waffle's on bottom.
Really?
What? Did I say that?
I hope I didn't say that out loud just now.
Did that happen? That's okay.
Oh.
Chris will never watch the show this long to see that part. He'll
Oh,
tap
good.
out long before
Sometimes
this.
I think about how we all almost had a threesome on the cruise, Sarah. No, what? No.
Oh, wait, no. Wait. What? That is not what happened.
Remember how the night
That is not what happened.
God, that Waffle decided to take his pants off while I was in the room?
We had the unlimited drinking package, in all fairness.
It sounds like it.
We needed to get our money's worth.
Hey.
Apparently.
We couldn't bear to say goodbye, so I was lingering in their room, and Waff just decided
On
he
our
had-
bed.
started surfing, and like, I was like, whoa, what's happening here?
Oh, good time.
Whatever.
Weird.
I know. Kind of odd.
Let's think about it for a second.
Hold
What
on.
could have been?
So, what are the odds of you guys getting back together for a SizeQueens reunion? What's up? What's the story? Give us a scoop.
I'm sure it'll happen. We're
We're very busy. I have 4 kids.
yeah.
4.
I have
It may
29
as well be 30.
At 29 animals in my house.
She's got she's got 4 kids, like 3 YouTube channels. I mean, you know.
I have.
Yeah.
We're managing. Also, the 4 kids. I have like 2 on swim team. Do you know what kind of commitment swim team is?
Oh,
Hope you
fuck
don't want
that.
to do. Hope you don't want to do anything else with your life. Then
I
we
don't
have
know if I
one.
fit.
We have one that's about to go to the regional championships for Oregon Battle of the Books, which is a contest where they read a bunch of books and then have like a Jeopardy off, like they get asked questions. They won for their school and districts, so they're going to regionals. And the same one is about to do a computer programming class, and then I have another one that's in symphonic band, pep band, and is currently doing the school play band. So,
You know what? For all the forward planning that you've talked about, to do the forward planning and have all that other shit going on, I
Yeah,
applaud.
kudos.
joint custody. That's how it happens.
Right? I know.
Even my dog loves joint custody. The kids put a party hat on him like Sunday night, and he was like, I'm so fucking glad they're all leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking glad they're all leaving tomorrow.
Well,
Right,
my wife is too shy to come on camera, but she's here off camera. I've been watching and
Ryan,
No, come on.
you're gorgeous. Let me see you. I just want to see your
they're
pretty
saying you're
mouthful.
gorgeous. Come on.
Want to have
Come
like
out
an
here.
almost girl threesome, but not really, but kind of. And-
Yeah,
We'll tell the boys to close their eyes, and we can make kissy face at
yeah.
I'll
We could,
close my eyes.
Our collarbones.
you. I'll
Because that's
close
what we
my
do.
eyes.
We're like, look at this.
I'm closing my eyes.
Hold on. I can turn the camera. I can.
Iris,
Yes.
I love Ryan. So pretty.
Look at that hair.
oh, I love
Andrew,
it.
Almost like totally like mine. I have to get mine.
I know.
Andrew, can I just say that bless your heart, but did you ever marry up?
I don't know.
Oh, snap. She just told you.
Mm.
Girl. Oh, what did you say in our chat, Sarah? Every time Sarah acts like a gay man, drink?
I'm on empty.
Oh right.
I made a drinking game.
Chug, chug, chug.
That's what
Oh,
I've been doing. That's why this is empty. Every time you acted like a gay man, I
We've been
drank.
secretly playing a drinking game that no one knew about.
Right, we were about
Every time. Oh, are you ready for this? Every time Andrew does the fat man shirt tug.
Oh.
This is where you do
No.
this, like, because Waffle
Oh,
still
God.
does it too. The fat man shirt tug.
Yeah, we all do it. I still do it too.
Yeah, we're doing the drinking game. We're almost 2 hours in, and after about an hour, I was gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ryan, I need your hair. Talk for a second, Andrew, so I can look at your wife big.
Right?
I'm right here. No, she's
Oh
not.
shit, girl.
I told you. Would I lie about hair? I would not.
No,
She's all worried about. She's all worried about this right
Look
here
how
because it's her
cute.
sport.
no, I love that. Oh,
Oh, it's a smoke machine.
you have a smoke machine.
My own personal smoke machine.
Oh, is Gooch down there now? Your own personal fog machine?
Well, he was all like, well, if other people's...
Gooch has been standing
Oh,
on
he's
screen
all- I
the
thought you
entire
were-
time. He's just been sideways.
Yeah,
didn't notice
earlier
it?
he was standing behind me sideways, and I was showing how I could, like, totally obscure his entire body just by, like, with my fat head.
Also, remember how her arm hurt? It's because she was hiding him with just her
And I
arm.
was like, okay, no. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry people that are still watching, all maybe one of you.
Oh no, they're still here, loving it, watching it, man.
Well, there's like 3 people, don't lie.
We bring the big numbers. We got 5.
It's
5, see? 5.
the problem is it's just so hard to say goodbye. You know,
I know. Well, let's cut those fuckers out and go private, bitches.
Yeah,
That sounds
right?
good. I like that.
On that note, all right, hold on. Let's do this. There we go. I got to put the
Good to
headset
be the
back in.
king. Oh wait, is that not my line?
No, that's not your line.
And it's no, that's the old school. We now have a new one. It's Hail to the Kings, baby.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. We go Duke Nukem on them. So
I like
Oh,
it.
Inspired by the Evil Dead. That's
inspired
how we roll.
inspired by Bruce Campbell. Yes.
That's right.
I want to be your Bruce Campbell. That's why I don't sing on the album. What you just heard there.
Yeah, just don't do an Italian accent.
I want to be your Bruce Campbell.
Okay, that was actually kind of delightful.
Oh, it's
my
better.
God.
I'll think about that later when I'm alone.
Oh my God! I for
All right.
one have thoroughly enjoyed this evening. It has been an absolute blast. I came into this scared shitless, but I feel so great. It was such a good time.
Bye.
That's always what guys say when. Let me try that again. Rewind. Too drunk.
What?
That's always what guys say their first time with me.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were scared.
Gooch, you want to
And then
comment on that?
just for future reference, they die after that.
Yeah.
That's not
Talk about
true.
the Temple of Doom.
It's the Temple of Doom.
The Temple of Doom.
If you
Don't get
scorn
me
her,
wrong.
you die. That's a real thing.
It is a real thing, actually.
All right, Andrew.
We'll have to talk about that on another
Hail
show.
to the kings.
All right,
All right.
we are definitely gonna try and do round 2 of Fat King Size Queens at some point in the future. That's for
I
sure.
love round 2. It's my favorite.
Oh, baby.
Fat
Thank
King
you,
versus
girls.
Size Queens, sloppy seconds.
Thank you, girls. Love you.
I like it.
Sloppy seconds. I love it.
Bye.
All right, gang.
Take us out, Walter.
Hail to the kings, baby. Good night.
Good night.